Good afternoon, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. This afternoon, we're going to set your conditions of pretrial release, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. We'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have the right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts that surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, I have a pair of assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me today. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please come forward to the podium. Tiffany Guard. Afternoon, Tiffany. What's your date of birth?
1282.
Tiffany, you're here on a charge of burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself and a higher private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please, sir.
Appoint the PD. State, what do you got?
It's an adjudication for larceny, grand theft of a dwelling from January of this year out of Pasco. Adjudication for burglary and grand theft from 2016 out of Pasco. Adjudication, burglary, and grand theft 2016 out of Pasco. Failure to appear, adjudication 2016 out of Pasco. And another burglary, unoccupied dwelling, unarmed 2016 out of Pasco. Adjudication for DUI, property damage, and driving license suspended 2008 out of Hernando. An action was dropped in 2000 for battery, and she has juvenile history. She also is a multi-source offender if you require me to go.
No, that's okay. Tiffany, where you been staying lately?
Spring Hill.
You have an address you can tell me?
It's on my ID. I just moved out there with my best friend. I don't know the address by heart. It's on Dabney Court in Spring Hill.
Okay. How long have you been there?
A couple months, since 7/7. Well, pretty much a week after 7/7.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir. I'm trying to get my Social Security back, my SSI.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 22nd of February. Very important that you contact the public defender if you're able to get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Thank you.
February. You said February, Judge.
Nah, y'all are messing with me. You're gaslighting me. 22nd of November. Raise your hand if you know what gaslighting is. Thank you. Some old movie fans in the house. Amy Stamper.
And Your Honor, just to make you aware, the victim is present. I did speak with the victim. This is potentially a PTI.
Okay.
She's got those.
Ms. Stamper, what's your date of birth?
March 31st, 1977.
And Ms. Stamper, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
Right. And state you have any history?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Amy, I've got an address for you on Brackenwood Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That's correct.
How long have you been there?
Since June of 17.
Okay. You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a nursing professor.
Okay. Where do you do that?
Pasco Hernando State College.
Awesome.
State City.
Everything I understand about that program is that it's amazing. All right,
Number one in the state, sir.
What's that?
I'm sorry, I said we're number one in the state.
That's what I want to hear. All right, Mr. Stamper, did you want to be heard?
Yes.
Come up forward. your right hand, please. Solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
State your name.
Michael Stamper.
All right, Mr. Stamper, how do you know Amy here?
She's my wife.
How long have you been married?
We've been married 20 years.
Okay. And are you wanting to have contact with Amy?
Yes, I'm requesting peaceful contact.
All right. And anybody threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here today?
No.
Okay. You're concerned that Amy's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No.
Okay. All right. Amy, I'm going to set your bond at $10. Condition of the bond is that if you choose to have any contact with Mr. Stamper here, that contact must be peaceful. It's always a crime to touch him any way he does not want to be touched. It could be a violation of your conditions of pretrial release if you so much as raised your voice. I'm not telling you that you have to have contact with him. I'm just saying that that's okay if you guys choose to do that. I'm going to have you back in court then on the 15th of November. Very important that you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck, Amy. Good luck, Mike. Willie Beeman. Afternoon, Willie. Date of birth?
10/22/57, sir.
Willie, this is a warrant for a retail grand theft. Judge Barbie signed it, so he found probable cause. Looks like you're doing a DOC sentence right now, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
How much time you got left?
About 8 months left, sir.
Okay. All right. And then there's... Oh, good. All right. So, obviously, I'll just leave the bond the same. You want the public defender, Willie?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'll have you back in court on November 6th.
Thank you, sir.
My guess is we'll get you into court, get you resolved, and get you back to Moorhaven. Put this behind
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Frank Booth. Afternoon, Mr. Booth. What's your date of birth?
12/28/89.
Mr. Booth, you're here on a warrant out of Marion County. Judge up there found probable cause for a felony VOP. They set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let Marion County know that you're here and ready to go. Give them 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5, they'll bring you back to see me, and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Richard Walter. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
Sir, 12/20/68.
All right, Richard, I got 1, 2, 3. I got fleeing to elude, driving under the influence, and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for all 3. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like to hire an attorney.
Very
sir.
good. And state, what do you got?
All of his history is out of state, Your Honor. Currently, he is out on bond for a hit and run and driving a license suspended that occurred in Madison, Georgia on September 2nd, 2019. I had been in contact with the courts there to try and get paperwork. They were going to email me paperwork, but I have not received any. He does have a court date next Friday there, November 1st. But again, I did confirm the 2 citations. He was arrested and out on bond.
Okay.
He
Sir.
also has, so there was a not guilty on a DV protective order from 2017. He was convicted in 2012, habitual impaired driving. A conviction in 2009 for resisting, conviction for paraphernalia, conviction for possession of scheduled drugs, conviction for driving while license suspended. Those are 2011. There was a guilty conviction for felony possession of marijuana 2010, convicted in 2007 for habitual misdemeanor assault, driving while license suspended, and habitual impaired driving. Guilty disposition 2007, driving while license suspended. Guilty disposition 2007, habitual impaired driver. Guilty disposition 2007, assault on a female. Guilty disposition 2005, driving while intoxicated. A guilty disposition 2005, DV protective order violation. Guilty disposition interfering with emergency communication. guilty disposition, interfering with emergency communication, also 2005, guilty disposition 2005, assault on a female, guilty disposition, actually that's the same one, sorry, and that the one I just said was a remand. There's also, appears from his driving record out of North Carolina that he does have multiple failures to appear, October 25th, 2018, convictions for failure to appear, 2009 failure to appear, 2007 failure to appear, which would coincide with some of those cases, Your Honor. Also, the state would ask that we make sure we have a current address, as I don't know whether he's from North Carolina, living in Georgia, living somewhere down here, given the recent state of events.
Okay. All right. And so, sir, what's your current address?
It's 232 Jill Lane in Arapika.
Okay. How long have you been there?
About 3 weeks.
You have a job here in Hernando County?
Yes, sir. I do. I work at KK Plastics as a tool room supervisor.
Okay.
I know I got a bad record, and I am trying to take care of things. And it was a bad evening yesterday. And
Hey, stop. Richard, stop right there. Okay. You don't need to say anything. The information I have speaks for itself, obviously. I'm going to leave the bonds where they were set, which is $3,000 on each charge. That's a total of $9,000. The other thing I'm going to do is order that if you bond out, you'll be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense. Quite frankly, I have no confidence at all that if you get out, you won't get right back behind the wheel. And my guess is that in North Carolina or Georgia or Florida, some places said you don't get to drive ever again for the rest of your life. So you'll have to get GPS if you want to get out. You're going to be in court again on the 22nd of November. If you get out, make sure you contact your lawyer and tell them that date, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Michael Goodlow. Afternoon, Michael. Date of birth?
050492.
Michael, I got a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. Judge down there thinks you failed to appear. Looks like on a DUI. Issued the warrant, set the bond at $2,513. I can't change that one. You can post the bond. You can get out of jail here. Go down to St. Pete. Find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, I'll give them 5 days to come get you. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. DeAndre Goodson. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
229.5.
DeAndre, you're serving a DOC sentence now too, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a VOP. You want the public defender?
I have an attorney.
Say it again.
I have an attorney.
Okay, we're good. Bond is no bond. We're going to have you back, looks like next week, October 29th, so you get back in front of Judge Merritt, get this taken care of, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Nicholas Harlow.
Yes, sir.
Nicholas, what's the date of birth?
12/26/1989.
Nicholas, the charge is violation of probation based on a warrant that I signed, so I found probable cause. The folks at probation want to resolve the case with 30 days in the county jail. I would give you credit for any time you spent in jail already, if that's something you want to do today.
If I could get a bond, I could meet my requirements by the next court date. I only owe 30 hours community service and a drug and alcohol class. I was in Pasco doing a probation there, trying to finish out that, and I met almost all my stipulations besides the 30 hours and the substance abuse. I paid all my fines and everything in Hernando, and if I could bond out, I could make sure I meet those stipulations by my next court date. I went to the court in Pasco and to finish out, and they terminated my probation in Pasco, and I was just running 2 probations, and it kind of got a little heavy for me.
Amen, brother. Have you started the 30 hours of community service?
I was supposed to pay them off. There was $10 an hour for 30, but I mean, if I could get out, I could do the 30 hours before my next court date, and I could do the substance abuse program, which is a 1 class time deal.
Okay. Do you know that I'm the judge you'll be coming back to?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm apt to remember your promise here.
Yes, sir.
All right. And if
I have a 4-month-old son at home.
Listen, I'm with you, brother, but hang on. Don't take this wrong.
Yes, sir.
But you understand, I've been doing this a long time, and people standing where you're standing make all kind of promises. They tell me all sorts of good things. I hear it all the time. I have managed to not become a completely nasty, cynical old bastard so far.
I can see that, sir.
Okay, but that may still happen if people like you make promises and I give them something and then they don't follow through. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on you, and I'll tell you this. The other thing is right now you got a 30-day offer. If you show up in November with excuses, you may not get 30 days. You may get more. Are we clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's no excuses.
All right. You want the public defender to help you out, or you think you're going to be done and we're going to be done next month?
I'll be done by my next court date, 100%.
Okay. Set your bond at $100.
I appreciate that.
We're going to have you back on the 15th of November. Do not disappoint
Thank you very much.
All right?
I will not, sir.
All right. Bruce Hudson. Afternoon, Bruce. What's your date of birth?
6/25/76.
Bruce, I have a warrant or warrants here from some judge in Hillsborough County. They found probable cause. I think it's a couple different warrants, 4 of them. Ultimately, there's 12 different charges. And instead of going through them all, I will tell you that the total bond is $48,500. If you can post that, then you can get out of jail, go down to Tampa. They'll tell you when you're going to court. If you can't post it, I'm going to give them 5 days to come get you, all right?
Yes, sir. I'm serving a 6-month sentence here, sir.
Well, it looks like they served the warrant, so we're going to send you. I certainly have no problem with you being released to Tampa to start taking care of this, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Victor Madison.
Good morning, sir.
Victor, what's your date of birth?
3/20/1977.
All right, Victor, this is also a warrant I signed, found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. Bond is no bond. I'll have you back in court on November 15th. PD will come see you before that, see what we can do, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thomas Manton. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/10/69.
Thomas, you're here on a warrant out of Pasco County. Judge down there found probable cause for a felony VOP. Set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let Pasco know that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days. Never takes 5 with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here at 5, I'll bring you back to see me, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you. Jay, you got anybody else for me?
No, sir.
Awesome. Y'all have a good weekend.